I'm ready.
Yeah. Is there any mic? Does it work? No. Unless you want to use the hand.
You don't want to leave their app, but they launch it from their app.
Depends. I can make it.
Right. So are you ready to start?
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
I know. I think when you speak, you
Okay.
there are people in the corner over there too.
Pulver purple for the timekeeper.
Oh, great. Great.
Right.
Perfect.
Works?
Yes.
Go.
Oh, yeah, that works. Sure, good.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Wait, better?
Quite.
Better. Yes. Okay, hi everyone. So my name is Paolo Privitera. I am born and raised in Venice, in Italy.
And you just flew here from Italy.
What is it?
You just arrived from Italy.
And I arrived yesterday, actually. Even though I live in San Francisco, but I arrived from Italy yesterday. Thanks, Jess, for inviting me. And actually, very short introduction is that I exchanged the first email with Jeff in 1996 when he launched a company, I believe, in Israel. And I wrote to the customer support and we exchanged a few emails about the product. But I never met Jeff until a few months ago. So it's quite interesting. And 2 years before, 1994, I launched my first company, a tech company in Venice. At the time when the company was trying to innovate fax machines, I was trying to sell actually e-commerce and website and platforms. Long story short, background in computer science, I moved to the US in 2002 and I started to create companies all about data. And that's also the reason why today I'm talking about data. And the last two companies that are active and growing, one is called Pick1 and Agency. I'm not going to focus specifically on the company today, but on some use cases on how our clients are using the platform to go from the data they collect to selling more monetization and revenues. So put together some slides to tease your brain and to go through this process on one of the ways in which you can use data today for your business. So I start with this teaser. Have you ever thought what we could do if you could read people's minds? And how, if it was possible, how this would impact for real your company. Imagine you can read what people are thinking about.
Ew.
And this is true. So let's imagine for a second that we have this technology. And we built it. We built a mind-reading machine. Why? Why we want to know what people think about? So people today are literally bombarded with information, with messages, with advertisement at any level, any single day, and there is too much noise from both parts, from the brands to understand what people want and what people are, from the user to understand what is the most interesting product or brand is worth for them to follow. And at the same time, very easy, also there are people coming into your website every day. I know there are so many analytics too, but still sometimes you don't really know still exactly who are the people coming to you and maybe either to buy or to check the product out. And you don't know the people, that's what I'm trying to say. So once you have this possibility, after that you should change what you do. Once you know what people are, you should adapt and you should identify, understand, activate, and respond. And this is the second step. First, you collect data, and then once you have the data, you should do something with it. Otherwise, you're sitting on a gold mine that you cannot use. A very important message, even though it's maybe very constant in our mind, but we never really act on that. Brands and companies and products and businesses, they need to go where users are. So very often companies invest in specific channels that maybe is not the channels where your users want to go, or maybe it's not where your users are. So you need to identify also the best channels, and you need to go where your users really are. And we also need to remember that internal population is still expanding. So whatever you're doing today is not just an extra effort to enter the current market and grow your market share, but between now and the next few years, we're going to have 5 billion more people on the internet. So the market is huge, and whenever you're jumping on it and adapting, there is still time for you to be successful. So this is maybe the most important message of practically my whole presentation. So what you need to do is you need to be relevant with to your customers. You need to understand the context, you need to understand them, and you need to tell them something that they want to hear, that they are ready to hear, and within the same context. Otherwise, they don't listen to you. And after you collected information from data, from social media, then you have the possibility to send a custom message to the user. But unless you don't know them, unless you know the user, you cannot do that. So how this process works, how it's going to work. This is a very short video we put together about 1 year ago to give you an idea on a possible process.
You see 5,000 messages every single day, and it starts as soon as you wake up. While you're eating your breakfast, when you're driving to work, when you're surfing the web, when you're trying to enjoy your dinner, and when you sit down to relax at night. Yep, you're being bombarded with messages 24/7. But the truth is, you could care less about most of this stuff, and you're exhausted from being talked at all day. But there are those moments of joy when someone tells you about something that you really do love. The problem isn't really with advertising. The problem is you're being beat over the head with stuff you don't want or need. What if you could connect more often to the stuff you love? Well, you can with Pick1. See, you're already telling the whole world about the stuff you're into. So when the brands you love partner with Pick1, they can host engaging online polls or surveys right there on their website. It only takes a second to share your opinion, and Pick1 gives you some sweet rewards just for giving some of your time. But here's the crazy cool part. You simply take a poll, and because Pick1 can see all of this information, they can combine that data to provide a clearer picture of who you are and what you really want to the brands you love, which makes it easier for all those brands to bring the awesome stuff you love right to your fingertips. Finally, advertising content that knows you and works for you. Pick1 is bringing the awesome to online marketing. Find out more at Pick1.
So, in the last 2 years, actually, we improved the platform, and now the clients, the companies don't need to go through the survey process, even though it's an important, crucial part, because the survey is a way to engage with the user and to create connection. But now anybody can start the process by importing maybe the email address, the list, your mailing list, and then we can already tell you who the user are. So here, I'm going to show you a little bit of the process. So usually when a brand thinks about the audience, this is the image you have. It's a multitude of people, a mass of people, but you don't know who they are. It's pretty much grayed out. You don't know how to interact with them, it's far away. And what we're able to do is to identify each single person and learn up to 500 data fields of data for each person. And we are talking about the name, the age, location, interest, the food, airlines they like to fly, and email, and also psychology. And this is a way, is part of the process on how you know your customer, therefore you also know your audience at the bigger level. So our approach, and this is my suggestion to any business, is to go as deep as possible to learn each user. It was almost impossible 10 years ago because of technology limitations and because of data was not available. Today it is possible, and going at this granular level and bringing it to the audience, it gives you perspective on something that you would have never imagined before. So what we like to do, we do audience decryption or audience segmentation. That could definitely, the number one consequence is driving better engagement, because if you provide to the user what he likes to hear, is more bound to interact with you. This is a few screenshots on what we can do with data. Actually, if you have time later, I can even show you a real-time demo on you. And so we take a piece of information and we can explode it to hundreds of data fields. So we can know who the user is on any social media. We collect this information together. We give you pretty much a report of each user. And the same applies also to the audience. And up to knowing the psychology. We can read in real time all the tweets, all the Facebook posts, just by starting from an email address, because we can reverse search on the other social media. And we can even go up to your psychology and personality, and use the information to know on how to serve you better. If I know you're an introvert, as a brand, I'm gonna send you a message that is more customized for you. Reverse, if you're an extrovert, maybe I wanna use a different message. So, to recap, this is the base of what is defined today a growth funnel. And it is definitely a technology, a strategy used in what is going today growth hacking. Growth hacking is pretty much digital marketing on steroids. And it uses processes I would say, at the funnel level to understand what is happening in any phase between the company and the user. So the steps are pretty easy. This is definitely one of the way. Engage first. So you want to ask people questions. When you ask somebody a question, a poll for instance, the user gets engaged with a different part of the brain and either is more active. When a user reads a banner on Facebook, on Google, this is a passive interaction. I may read it, I may not, but if in the same banner there is actually a question mark, psychologists and scientists studied that the brain of the person gets turned on, and they have the choice to continue reading, to be engaged, or leave. But when the user is engaged, you want to go all the way through the tunnel. If it requires, then you can learn because you're able to collect information. And once you do that, you can create targeted messages. And that you're going to use to convert. So Best Buy send us a survey on Facebook asking which is your favorite camera between Canon and Sony. You reply just by clicking, so it's effortless for you. You're already on Facebook, I know you are. So once I know that you like Sony, I can send to the Sony user a special offer, even knowing your gender, even knowing your age. Based on that and based on education we can learn, we can customize the price because maybe students can afford less. And I can identify your location and send you a custom offer for a Sony camera within your budget to the closest one close to you. This helps to the conversion big time. We are seeing 14 times more conversion than a standard banner. Standard banner converts up to 1%. Thanks to the funnel, we are able to convert around 14%. I think I only have a couple minutes, so I'm gonna stop here. I'd like to hear if you have any question. And if you have time later, we can sit down, I can show you a demo. And any question?
Is it not attached to emails? Or?
Say it again.
Is it only attached to email addresses, or also to advertising IDs, IDFAs?
So good question. Definitely email is the main data point that we use because it's the richest one, because it's the one you use to connect to other social media. But you can also use a Twitter handle, and we can learn a lot, but we cannot go as deep, and it's harder to retarget the user on different social media.
Is this your data, or are you accessing another database?
So we collect data straight from social media. So we co-own the data because we collect it, but it's not our own data. So we are not selling data. So just say you give Pick1 your email address. I'm going to do a reverse search on any possible social network. Right now we are covering 250 social networks, and we try to identify who you are on using that email on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all the icons you see here, plus
So
200
if a
more.
user has more than one email, or not all the social media are as friendly about letting you.
Correct. So there is a lot of tricks. We're using more than 20 different algorithms to understand who you are. Even reverse search, we are reading, for instance, Twitter statuses on a lot of people are posting actually their email address on Twitter. So we're using a lot of ways. I know I'm running out of time. If you really want to have fun with it, I can send you a link with a couple demos, and you can also sign up on Pick1, it's free. And you can import your email and see how it works. Please?
Well, I'm actually curious. Presumably, you look at Facebook and other stuff like that. I'm curious whether the amount of information you get varies by demographics.
Yes, that's actually one of the most crucial questions we are getting from clients lately. So it depends from demographic, and it also depends from location. For instance, we noticed that Latin Americans share so much on social media that we are able to collect way much more information in Latin America versus the United States. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Everybody's signing up on everything. And it also depends on age. So one of our clients specifically is targeting executive above 50 years old. It's hard for us to find information. So, and even if people below years 20, actually it's hard because people are not on Facebook and are not on Twitter, or on Snapchat or other applications.
So you have to do a bunch of statistical work to take care of that.
Yes, yes. And survey helps because survey collects data from the user.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Run out of time, or
You have one more.
1 minute?
1 minute.
This is a small project we started 1 year ago to tap into the event space. So pretty much we're using Pick1 technology to identify your personality, and based on what we know about you, we respond by providing the best events around you, matching your interests. This little game exploded, and now is a real company, is my second company, and now we have more than 50 million events, growing at a pace 100,000 events per day and 2 million users, because that's maybe the proof that the more you know your users, the better you can serve them, the better they react and they want to be engaged. Any other question? If I had time, I would show you more stuff, but I don't know. I thought it was shorter, but I can go on.
No,
I'm happy to
we're
go.
set.
Done?
Done.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Happy to chat more anytime in the next few days. Thank you. Thank you.
Just a reminder, as we change speakers, there are 3 different presentations going on, so you can mix around the different rooms, Orion, the main hall, and here.